SPE. It's Sanitas per Escum, and which means health through food, and SPA, Sanitas per Aqua, is health through water. So the SPE also stands for sourcing, preparing, and enhancing. So this is a 100-page document that Jeremy Behrman, our executive chef, and James DeStefano, the pastry chef, and I use as a roadmap to guide us toward our healthy yet wonderful cuisine. I'm not sure if you heard, we were awarded a Michelin star, which was just tremendous because we weren't being, voted, we weren't regarded as a healthy restaurant. It was really lovely plated food, great flavor. So I talked a little bit about the sourcing, preparing, and enhancing. These are the 3 guidelines that we use to get our food to be where we feel it's the optimal cuisine. Tasting really great and also being good for you. So first of all, when it comes to sourcing, we are buying seasonal, local products. So and certain products don't even make it into our kitchen. Almost everything is made from scratch. If you went through our dry storage, you'd find grains, nuts, spices, seeds, and maybe some pasta for a family meal. We make all our pastas here fresh. So there's never going to be a corn-fed ribeye on this menu. So through sourcing, we're getting the best ingredients. We believe that when you're buying from local farms, you're paying for ingredients that will be a little bit more expensive, but we'll buy things more close to peak ripeness, and therefore you get much better flavor. And lucky for us, it's very trendy in New York City right now to have to feature wonderful fruits and vegetables on the menu. So we really pay attention trying to order sustainable seafood. There's limitations with cheese and high saturated fat ingredients. Red meat, you'll see that limited on the menu. So then the P is the preparation. So we're looking for cooking methods that we're not avoiding cooking methods that add like a lot of fat or anything else. We're looking for cooking methods that don't destroy the nutrients. So we want everything intact. So for instance, we don't fry. We're not frying because we're worried about all the extra fat. We don't fry because when oil is at a high temperature for an extended period of time, that oil begins changing and start becoming closer to a trans fat, which we know is really detrimental to our health. Worse for us than butter or saturated fats. So we don't fry for that reason. We also don't grill because when you grill and flame licks fat, that can become carcinogenic. It is a low-fat cooking method, but when you have that blackened fat, that's carcinogenic, so we're not going to grill anything. What we do use is we use that technique called sous vide. That's when you have a plastic bag, it's vacuum sealed shut, and then the chef there then can bring a lot of items at one time, say for instance duck breast or fish, up to the exact temperature, slowly, evenly, everything is cooked perfectly. All the nutrients are staying in that bag, nothing's going anywhere. We also use the plancha. The plancha is a tilted skillet so that the oil can run off. A slight tilt so that we're not submerging ingredients in pools of oil that are sitting in oil for a long period of time, because as I mentioned before, that becomes unhealthy. We're steaming, we're roasting, leaving certain ingredients raw. So we're not boiling. The only thing that should ever be boiled is pasta, because that's too high of a temperature and you'll lose a lot of your nutrients there, especially in the water. The last part, the E, the enhancing, that's pretty much my position. Every plate goes through me. I do the nutrition analysis on every dish. The idea here right now is that an appetizer, an entree, and a dessert gives you about 40% of your needs. Now in this country we're calorie crazy. The calories represent about 40% of your daily needs, but what I'm most interested is that there's 26 other nutrients that I'm measuring, and I want to make sure that your food is the most nutrient dense that it could be. So with the calories, you're getting fiber, you're getting omega-3 fatty acids, you're getting vitamins, you're getting minerals. So when you go and you take an appetizer, entree, and dessert, it's going to be roughly around 900 calories, no, 8 to 900, but you can also pick the lowest appetizer, entree, and dessert, and that could be sometimes around 500. You could also take the largest, on that end of the spectrum. But best, what you should do is when you come in, you should just consider that a registered dietitian went and balanced this whole meal, so you can come in and just have whatever you'd like. We approach our beverage menu the same way that we approach our food. One of my favorite parts of my job was 9 o'clock in the morning 2 years ago in the summer. We would show up to a bar and I would do cocktail tasting. I gave the mixologist my top 10 list of ingredients that I would like to see added into our beverages, and he took that and came up, he used his expertise and came up with the most gorgeous drinks. We have one upstairs, it's probably my favorite, it's called the Green Tornado. I wanted green leafies in some sort of cocktail. We have a juicer full-time behind the bar. And I said, you're gonna have to either use a green fruit or you're gonna have to use some really cool herbal concoction. And they came up with this juice, it's called the Green Tornado. It's spinach, butter lettuce, fennel, mint, tarragon, and basil with fresh lemon juice and a little bit of agave. And it's fantastic. It tastes like an herbal lemonade or something. So if you get a chance, you should try it. And up there, we do add a light amount of alcohol and then the regular amount of alcohol. So it's a great place to come in and have cocktails. Some people are worried about what kind of vodka they put in their drink. We're worried about where your cranberry juice came from. And we do ours fresh upstairs. So, just to be in a restaurant that's, these days, food service sometimes can get a real bad rap. We're using cheap ingredients. In this place, we're looking to make sure things are healthy. We're purchasing our ingredients in the most sustainable manner we can. And then, of course, throughout the restaurant, I think we make one of the greenest restaurants in New York City. The materials, when building, everything was taken into consideration. We offer 2 different types of bottled water. Saratoga Springs, one is still, one is sparkling. We purify our own in the building. We have a purification system we offer with a carafe, and we carry Coke and Diet Coke and tonic water. No other sodas. We make them in-house, so we cut down on the bottle waste. We have Action Carting, comes and picks up all of our compost, and I was lucky enough, I always have interns with me, and we took a farm trip. We go and visit our farms just to make sure that they're, see what they're all about, and we saw one of the dumping sites for the compost that we get picked up, and they compost the soil, this waste, and it turns into, after about 6 months, it turns into potting soil, which this farm in upstate New York then sells, and it's the most profitable area of their polyculture farm. So I thought that was very interesting. So does anybody have any questions for me? It was a lot of information that I just spit out, but anybody?
I have a question.
Sure.
How is this communicated? Because I think it's intriguing. I've never been to a restaurant where you have a culinary nutritionist.
Yeah, that's a very good question.
And do you find that people who come here to eat are doing so because they feel like they have someone else, evaluating what they're eating and giving that stamp of approval, right, versus just coming because they want to eat healthy or they just like the food here?
Exactly. When I first came, this was a big discussion between the executive chef, myself, and the owner. And my idea is, and from experience from my last job, don't tell anybody it's healthy. Because as soon as you tell people something's healthy, immediately 75% of the population wants nothing to do with us. The best possible situation is if people come in and say, oh my God, I love this restaurant, the space is gorgeous, the staff is friendly, and the food is amazing. And then after they leave, you'll notice you'll eat a decent quantity of food, but you're gonna be hungry 6 o'clock tonight for dinner. And that tells me that we're really doing what we say we're doing. When I go out to dinner or out to lunch somewhere else, I won't be hungry for dinner because I've had so many calories. So I say the best hook is to have somebody come in, love the cuisine, come in a couple times, then find out. We had a small segment on the evening news with Brian Williams, and our vice president and owner were urging me to, oh, come on, go down and interview. I said, no, we're talking about how we purchase local and the best possible ingredients that we can. Do not talk about this piece. Now, when I give lectures to dietitians and I meet with medical professionals, I do mention that. Through the right channels, I think it's very important. But to your average person, I think the best thing is to let them hear about it. When people are searching out healthy restaurants, they will hear about us. Any other questions? Yeah.
What are some of your more popular dishes that people order the most often?
Okay, we have a, it's not on the menu right now, but we do a spring, fall, and winter poke dish. It's tuna, and then it's with seasonal vegetables and sesame sometimes, and then one time a year is mushrooms and spring peas, and then in the fall it gets, I'm trying to remember what it has in the fall, I'm not sure. We have a wonderful farro dish. I don't know if any of you saw it. It's the farotto. Was that on your menu today? Yeah, it was. Now, the chef was making risottos. We do a style of risottos and pastas here, and we keep the calories in check, and of course the ingredients associated with pasta dishes can be sometimes heavy. What we do is we have those great Vitamix prep, or those Vitapreps, those Vitamix blenders. So we puree fruits, vegetables, we puree a lot of vegetables and we add that into a risotto. So when you start cooking a risotto, the starch lets out of the rice, and then if you add instead of adding cheese, butter, and cream, if you go in and add a puree of vegetables, you get a wonderful consistency without all of those extra added calories. Then I was thinking, you know what? This is just plain white rice. You know? And so I would go to Calusi and find some crazy grains and throw them at the sous chefs and say, try this, try this. So we got fresh farro, and now we have this dish called the farotto. Our chef thought he made it up, but I happened to look it up and somebody already coined that before him, made up word. Anyways, so we have these dishes we have to have seasonally now, because for a vegan or a vegetarian to come in and have not pasta primavera or the grilled vegetable platter, they're very excited when they get something like that. We have this a trout dish that's amazing. Our desserts are fantastic. Chocolate and our miqui, our molten chocolate cake, our sorbets are amazing. Yeah, there's a lot of seafood on the menu. A lot of our raw seafood preparations are also pretty popular. Did you have a question?
Yeah, the idea of calories that are nutrient dense is something that we've heard a lot today, and it's something we talk a lot about internally because we are selling nuts, and nuts are one of those ingredients that's very high in calories. There's also this kind of, I call it a counter trend because it's counter to that, but this whole idea that calories are bad, and you've got people out there telling people calories